In the beginning, before time itself existed, before the stars were scattered across the heavens, before humanity drew its first breath, God created the angels. Among these celestial beings, one stood above all others in power, in glory, and in unwavering loyalty to the Creator. His name was Michael, which in Hebrew means "who is like God," a name that was both a question and a declaration, a reminder that no being, no matter how powerful, could ever equal the divine. This is the story of Archangel Michael, the greatest warrior in heaven, the protector of humanity, and the angel who would face the ultimate test of loyalty when heaven itself was torn apart by rebellion. Michael was not just an angel, he was an archangel, one of the highest orders of celestial beings, created with immense power and authority. In the complex hierarchy of heaven described in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, Michael held a position of supreme importance. He was the commander of God's armies, the prince of the heavenly host, the defender of the faithful, and the one who would stand at the right hand of God during the final judgment of humanity. But Michael's story truly begins with a tragedy, with the greatest betrayal heaven had ever known. There was another archangel, one whose beauty and brilliance rivaled even Michael's. His name was Lucifer, the light bearer, the morning star, and he was God's most magnificent creation. Lucifer was perfect in every way, in wisdom, in beauty, in power. He led the heavenly choirs in songs of praise, and his light illuminated the celestial realm. But perfection bred pride, and pride bred ambition. Lucifer began to question why he should serve God. He looked at his own magnificence and thought himself equal to the Creator. The question that defined Michael's very name, "Who is like God?" Lucifer answered with blasphemous arrogance, "I am." He began to whisper his rebellion to other angels, convincing them that they deserved more than servitude, that they could rule alongside or even above God. According to the Book of Revelation and various apocryphal texts, Lucifer's rebellion grew until a third of heaven's angels had joined his cause. The celestial realm stood on the brink of war. On one side stood Lucifer and his followers, powerful angels who believed they deserved autonomy and glory. On the other side stood Michael and the loyal angels, who understood that creation's very order depended on recognizing God's supreme authority. The war in heaven was unlike anything that had existed before or would exist again. It was not fought with earthly weapons, but with the very essence of divine power. Angels of light clashed in a cosmic battle that shook the foundations of reality itself. Lucifer, in his pride and power, led his forces against the throne of God. But standing between the rebels and the Almighty was Michael, sword blazing with holy fire, wings spread wide, his voice thundering the question that was his name. Who is like God? The battle was fierce and terrible. Ancient texts describe Michael and Lucifer locked in single combat, two archangels of nearly equal power fighting for the fate of creation. Lucifer wielded his rebellion like a weapon, his brilliance turned dark, his light corrupted into shadow. But Michael fought with something stronger than power. He fought with absolute faith, with perfect obedience, with love for the Creator that transcended all personal ambition. In the end, Michael prevailed, not because he was stronger than Lucifer, but because he fought for truth while Lucifer fought for a lie. Michael cast Lucifer down from heaven, along with all the angels who had joined the rebellion. They fell like lightning from the sky, tumbling through the celestial spheres, their glory stripped away, their light extinguished. They fell for what seemed like 9 days, according to some traditions, until they crashed into the depths of hell, that place prepared for the devil and his angels. Lucifer became Satan, the adversary. His followers became demons, and Michael became forever known as the great dragon slayer, the defeater of evil, the protector of divine order. The Book of Revelation describes this cosmic battle. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. But Michael's role did not end with Lucifer's defeat. In fact, it was just beginning. With Satan cast down to earth, Humanity became the new battleground in the cosmic conflict between good and evil. And Michael became humanity's great protector, the angel who would defend God's beloved creation against the forces of darkness. In Jewish tradition, Michael holds a special place as the guardian angel of Israel. The book of Daniel describes him as the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. When Daniel received visions of future events, it was Michael who came to explain them. Michael who fought against the demonic princes of Persia and Greece to ensure God's message reached the prophet. Michael was not just a warrior, but also a messenger, a protector and an advocate for God's chosen people. One of the most fascinating stories about Michael appears in the Epistle of Jude in the New Testament. It describes a confrontation between Michael and Satan over the body of Moses. When Moses died, Satan claimed the body, perhaps arguing that Moses was a murderer who had killed an Egyptian, and therefore his body belonged to the realm of death and sin. But Michael disputed with Satan, refusing to allow the great prophet's body to be desecrated. Interestingly, even in this confrontation, Michael did not pronounce his own judgment against Satan, but said, "The Lord rebuke thee." Even the greatest archangel recognized that ultimate authority belonged to God alone. In Christian tradition, Michael's role expanded even further. He became associated with the weighing of souls at the final judgment, often depicted in medieval art, holding scales where human souls are measured. He became the psychopomp, the guide who escorts righteous souls to heaven and protects them from demonic attacks during their journey. He became the patron saint of warriors, police officers, paramedics, and all those who protect others. Countless stories emerged of Michael's interventions in human history. During the Crusades, Christian soldiers reported seeing Michael leading them in battle. Joan of Arc claimed that Michael, along with other saints, appeared to her and commanded her to save France. Churches and monasteries across Europe were dedicated to him, particularly those built on high places, symbolizing his celestial nature. Mont Saint-Michel in France, a stunning monastery built on a rocky island, became one of the most famous sites dedicated to the Archangel. In Islamic tradition, Michael, Mikael in Arabic, is also revered as one of the greatest angels. He is described as the angel of mercy, responsible for bringing rain and sustenance to earth, for distributing provisions to humanity according to God's will. While in Islam it is typically the angel Israfil who will blow the trumpet to announce the day of judgment, Michael still holds a position of immense importance and power. But perhaps Michael's most important role is yet to come. According to apocalyptic literature, particularly the Book of Revelation and the Book of Daniel, Michael will play a crucial role in the end times. When the final battle between good and evil erupts, when the Antichrist rises and Satan makes his last desperate attempt to overthrow God's kingdom, it will be Michael who leads the heavenly armies once again. The Book of Daniel prophesies, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." Michael is portrayed as the defender who will arise during humanity's darkest hour, when evil seems triumphant, when all hope appears lost. In Revelation, Michael's final battle against Satan is described, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." This suggests that Michael's victory over Satan in the primordial war in heaven prefigures a final, ultimate victory at the end of time, when evil will be defeated once and for all. Michael is typically depicted in art as a powerful warrior angel, often wearing armor and wielding a sword or spear. He is frequently shown with his foot on a dragon or demon, symbolizing his victory over Satan. Sometimes he holds scales, representing his role in judging souls. His wings are usually portrayed as magnificent and powerful, and his face shows both fierce determination and serene peace. The perfect warrior who fights not from anger, but from love. What makes Michael such an enduring and powerful figure is not just his strength, but what that strength represents. In a universe where power can corrupt, where even angels can fall through pride, Michael stands as the eternal example of power used rightly. He is stronger than Satan, yet he never sought to overthrow God. He commands armies, yet he serves rather than rules. He has defeated the greatest enemy, yet he remains humble, always acknowledging that his power comes from God alone. Michael's name, who is like God, is not just his identity but his eternal mission. Every time evil rises, every time pride threatens to corrupt, every time someone or something claims to be equal to or greater than God, Michael's very existence is the answer. Nothing and no one is like God. No power, no beauty, no wisdom can equal the Creator. And Michael, the greatest of warriors, the mightiest of angels, proves this truth not through words, but through unwavering loyalty and service. For believers across Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, Michael represents hope. He is the reminder that no matter how powerful evil may seem, no matter how dark the night, there is a greater power fighting on the side of good. He is the protector who never sleeps, the warrior who never retreats, the defender who will never abandon those under his care. When humanity faces its darkest moments, when evil seems overwhelming, the faithful can take comfort knowing that Michael stands ready, sword in hand, asking the eternal question that is also the eternal answer: who is like God? And in the end, when time itself concludes and the final battle is fought, it will be Michael who stands victorious once more, having fulfilled his purpose from the beginning of creation to its glorious conclusion, to defend God's kingdom, to protect God's people, and to prove through his very existence that nothing in all creation can compare to the glory, power, and majesty of the Almighty.